And we're off. I swear I can hear Huck burp from a mile away. He has the loudest burps, second to my grandmother. Made it to Tuolumne Meadows. Soda Springs. Last time I was here was like 2018 or something. So the first time I ever stepped foot on the PCT was right here actually. And it may have been like Parks and I's second big trip backpacking. And we still had no idea what we're doing. It ended up being like the coldest night of my life. And I still had the best time. And at the time, I didn't even think about through hiking the PCT, but being out here, I was like, could I do something like that someday? And I started wondering about it, even though I still was miserable every time I went backpacking. I had panic attacks. I was making all the mistakes that beginners do. Just heavy gear, overpacking. But I still had this weird thought of like, what if I did this someday? And the seed just kept growing. And eventually I decided that I'd do it. I've had a different mental challenge that has come up ever since really the Sierra started and October hit. I think it's just because I can say I'm gonna be home next month. And mentally, I'm like, oh my gosh, my experience out here is almost done. Like, I am so desperate for rest and relief and just to not be in survival mode all the time, you know? And so thoughts of home has really consumed me, but at the same time, I am so desperate for this experience to never end. I genuinely love it out here so much. There hasn't been a single moment where I felt like I was done or I wanted to quit. And the fact that I can say I'm going to be home next month, it just brings so many emotions. But I'm really, really trying hard to be like, no, I still have, 900 and something miles to go. And I'm going to enjoy being out here. Woo! This is amazing. So we have about 4 miles until we start climbing up to Donahue Pass, which is a really big climb, really big mountain that we gotta go up and over. And we're hoping that by the time we make it to camp, we'll be safely under 10,000 feet, and it'll still be a little bit, we'll still have a little bit of sunlight, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, we're making pretty good time. We're really trying to go over 20 today because the last 2 days we haven't hit our goal. So we're pushing for 23, 24. All right, Donahue Pass, let's see what you got. This climb, I knew it'd be hard, but it's not why I'm stopping. I started getting a sharp pain in my shoulder every time I put weight on my, push down with my trekking pole. And it's just because I'm using so much of it as arm strength. I use my trekking poles so much when I'm doing these big climbs, and I mean, it's like shooting pain every time I push down. It's happened once or twice out here where it's just one of those weird pains that just happens for a mile or two, but then it goes away. But this is like the 3rd time it's come back today, and I'm kind of concerned about it. But I'm just gonna bank on the idea that it'll probably go away in a little bit. This is absolutely incredible. The hiking is so hard, but it is so worth it. It is some of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen. Almost there. And look, that's where we came from. That's like where we had lunch. That wasn't that long ago. Woohoo! Woo, we made it. It's like a foreign planet up here. Currently I think we're over 11,000 feet right now, so we need to make our way down. 11,006. Woo! Ow! I don't know if that can even register on camera, but the echo is crazy. Parks, I'm sorry you're hurting. What's wrong? What's wrong? He doesn't want to tell you guys that his butt is chafing. Alright, I want to show you all my sleep setup. This is absolutely essential. This is what I have to do in order to stay warm every night. So I've got my beanie, my camp gloves, I've got my base layer here, my mid layer, which is a melee, and then my coat, and then I'll show you what I'm doing for my feet, or my legs. So I've got down pants on, and then my base layer down here, and then I've got down booties, wool socks on underneath, sleeping bag liner, and a 20-degree sleeping bag. And that's how I stay warm. Good morning. I feel like I have done a pretty bad job at taking videos while we're at camp. But we camped at a beautiful spot yesterday. It was right at 10,000 feet, but it was a beautiful evening. Stayed really warm all night. Had a really hard time getting out of bed this morning because we're only doing 20 miles today. So I knew I could sleep in a little bit. We're actually camping at a hot spring tonight, which I'm so excited about. And then we head into town tomorrow. I think this might be our longest stretch of being out on the trail. It'll be just shy of a week. But yeah, we're so excited to just get into town. I desperately need new shoes. I've been like packing this pair of Ultras with me all week because my shoes have no traction at all. And when I'm hiking on stuff like this, it's really easy to slip. So whenever there's a section where there's absolutely no room for error, I cannot slip at all, I have those shoes as a backup. But it's just so much extra weight. So I'm really ready to get a new pair of shoes and just get into town and eat some real food. I am hungry. So apparently, I just read a comment on Far Out, which is our app that we use. There is a search and rescue chopper that crashed on the trail a couple days ago. And so apparently they shut down that section of the trail and there's military patrolling it. I have no idea, but I'm only like a half a mile from getting to that area, and I actually might have to take the JMT route because the PCT is closed because apparently a helicopter crashed. I'm not really sure how true it is. I'm literally only going off of comments from people on Far Out, but we'll see. Gosh, I love it out here so much. I don't ever want to leave. I mean, just look at this. This is amazing. I don't know if you can hear Parks, but he must be feeling good. He's just scream singing right now. Look guys, we have golden aspen trees. I've been hoping for this. Feels like fall. Wow, this is so beautiful. There has been no sign of any trail closures or helicopter crashes or anything. So we're just continuing on the PCT, but I feel like we would have known by now. Well, dang, I guess there was a helicopter crash. Somebody just warned me that in a couple miles, military personnel will stop me and reroute me to a road. So we're gonna be road walking to the hot spring because the trail is closed. The helicopter was a Navy, I think it was a Navy helicopter, and they were responding to a search and rescue mission. There was a hiker out here. Everybody's fine. I guess they just had a hard landing and the helicopter crashed. Everybody lived and the hiker got rescued still, but crazy. Woohoo! Got a ride! To the hot spring we go. Thank you for the ride, Kenny and Lori, and for the beer.
How do you regulate?
We made it! Blue. Is it my turn? Good morning. I woke up with a very wet sleeping bag. It's literally just wet. Everything is wet. But I don't care because it's town day and we're about to soak one more time before we try and hitch a ride into Mammoth Lakes.
Traveling a lot more.
Which I already thought that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you're next level.
Real food for the first time in like 7 days. This is the nicest laundromat I've ever seen. And it takes cards. Also, I'm about to go to a restaurant wearing a rain suit, so that'll be fun. This meal is sponsored by Mark and Janie Carpenter, aka Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Mom. I'm drinking more Coke tonight than I ever have. And this pizza's great.
The benefits of through hiking during Halloween season is all of the discount candy you can get. I have got to do something about these shoes. They are way too clean for me to be comfortable with. This is brutal. Our packs are so heavy. We've got like 6 days of food and we're feeling it. I mean, and we're climbing all day, so this is gonna be a tough one. The weather does not look great. And it's getting really cold. But we only have about 2 miles until camp. We will have done about 17 miles total today, which is really good for considering the fact that we were in town this morning and didn't get out until 11, and we had a decent amount of climbing done today. So overall, really happy, just really cold. Well, we made it to camp, but there are no campsites to be found anywhere. So we're just gonna go another 1.1 miles. So I guess we're doing 18 miles today. We might be hiking in the dark, but it is so pretty. Let's see if you guys can see behind me. I love a good sunset hike, so I'm not too mad about it. Good morning. Got my hot coffee. We accidentally slept in again. We've got a problem because when we're trying to conserve our phone battery, we leave it off at night, but then we don't have an alarm set, and I have this tiny little watch that beeps at 6 a.m. and it fits in my sleeping bag. I can't hear it at all. Look, there's a coyote. I feel like I'm really struggling with my breathing today. I don't know if it's just the elevation is finally catching up to me, but we are going to be pretty high up all day today, pretty much above 10,000 feet all day. So I don't know if that's what's going on, but I'm just so out of breath. I can't catch my breath at all. Maybe it's also the heavy pack. I don't know. Well, here's the trail, and then it ends right here, and I have no clue what people do at this spot, because snow, if you step in snow, your footprints melt in about 2 hours. So I can't see what anybody else has done. I think I'm just gonna climb those rocks and see what it looks like up top, because the trail should go over the other side. I might have to put on my spikes though, I don't know. I can see if there's a better way, but I think I'm just gonna walk over. It seems pretty good. Easy, easy, easy. That was pretty easy. Let's see what's on the other side of the pass. This is Silver Pass. First pass done for the day. Wow, it's so pretty. I've been thinking about my life back home and just wondering what things will look like once this is all finished. Like thinking about what's waiting for me once this is over. Just my old life feels so foreign to me right now. Like I have transformed into somebody completely new out here, and I'm just wondering, like, who is Emily going to be after the trail is over, and what is her life going to look like, and how is she going to be? I feel like I've changed so much out here for the better, and I guess I'm scared to go back home. I don't want to lose all of the growth and just this incredible experience out here. Like, I just don't want it to mean nothing, you know? I don't want to go back home and just slowly slip into my old ways of living, which I've always been really happy with my life and how I've lived it, but I've just worked on myself so much out here, and I don't want to lose any of that. I'm scared though. It's scary to go back and face reality when I feel like this is the realest it gets, you know? But I'm so excited. I can't wait to see my family again, my friends, my dog, my home. It's just a lot of emotions. But I'm so proud of everything I've conquered out here, and the woman I've become. I'm just overwhelmed with what I'm capable of doing if I just believe in myself. I made a mistake. I went down the wrong trail. Not far, but I decided to, maybe I was like 0.3 in this wrong trail. Didn't realize it. And I decided to stop for lunch and wait for the guys to catch up. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I looked on the map and I was wondering where they're at, and I saw that I was on the wrong trail. So I think they're way ahead of me now, and they're probably just trekking on thinking I'm ahead of them. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to catch up to them. I don't really know where they're at. It'll be fine. But I don't like that feeling. Also, we are all reunited. I ended up running back on the trail, trying to catch up to them, thinking they were ahead of me. I ran into a SOBO couple we met a couple days ago from Finland. And I was like, hey, have you guys seen Huck and Papa? And they said no. So I was like, okay, then they have to be behind me. They would have had to see them walk past them if they were ahead of me. And so I ended up just hanging out with them and waited like 30 minutes. And finally Parks and Huck showed up, and they had waited for me because they thought, like, they knew that I had taken the wrong trail somehow. And so they were waiting for me and I was waiting for them, and then finally we found each other, so we're good now. Woo, made it to camp. What a day. It was quite cold, quite cold. Nothing like starting the morning off with a river crossing. Don't get your feet wet. I'm happy to report my feet are dry. Also, it is freezing. You got it, Huck. I decided to be bold and start cold, and I'm really regretting it. I wish my coat was on, but we're about to climb up Selden Pass, and it's a climb, and I know I'm gonna get hot in like 30 minutes, so I didn't feel like stopping and taking off my pack and taking off my coat and then shoving it in my pack, and just don't want to deal with it. But today should be fun. Woohoo! I made it on top of the pass. Wow. I just saw Parks all the way down there. There are coyotes barking at us. Look, he's right over there. You can't see him. Oh, wow. He's right in between those trees, right there. Ow!
Oh, I see him.
Another national park under our belt. So we have our first river crossing. The bridge was washed out this summer, so we've got to cross here. Looks like this is the safest spot to cross, but we're gonna have to get wet. He's doing it barefoot. It's crazy. Can you feel your feet?
There's a couple big ones there in front of you. They're real slippery.
Got another one. Made it to camp. Wow, this is a good one. That's where we're setting up, right over there.